was really a good restaurant. So we went there, but
Is that where your honeymoon was?
yeah, Erie, PA.
Do you remember the honeymoon, Mom? Come here, tell us about it.
Went to Presque Isle, beautiful park right in downtown Erie on the lake. Drive around there.
Here's the wifey after 48 years. You still like him, Mom?
Oh, you betcha.
Still think he's an all right guy?
Yep, the best.
You should know that I met Mom by going to a party I wasn't invited to.
That's fate.
Yeah, the guy I was living with at the time, Al Chacon, he was dating a girl from Case Western Reserve, and he says, let's go to the party. And I said, I wasn't invited, I'm not going to go. He said, those parties, nobody knows who's invited who, and it'll be, he says, come on. So I went. He was right, it was so jammed. We were trying to dance on the dance floor. I don't even know who the girl was I was with. We couldn't move, we just sway back and forth. So I went out into the kitchen to get away from the crowd, and there was Mom out in the kitchen to get away from the crowd.
Did you see stars?
It was love it, maybe second sight.
What was she doing?
We started getting out into the kitchen to get away from the crowd.
Okay.
There were maybe just 4 or 5 of us out there.
Did you do a lot of parties like this back then, Mom?
What do you mean by like this?
Like, who was it that had the party?
It was,
one of Mom's friends?
No, one of my friends. But
One
one
of
of
your
Mom's friend knew who one of the girls that was there, so she was invited too. I don't know about it. Anyway, when we started talking for a while, and then I asked Mom if she wanted to dance, and we danced a while, and then I asked her for her phone number, and she gave it to me. I memorized it.
The rest was, yeah, I was impressed.
You were impressed by the way he danced, or just...
That too, but
He seemed like a
also
nice guy?
Yeah, he was always a gentleman and a nice guy and somebody. But he asked for my, I think, telephone number, and he could tell me.
You gave it to me,
Gave it to
and
him,
you want to
and
know
he
why I didn't
remembered.
write it down, but I said, I'll remember it.
He
And I
didn't.
did.
How many digits? 4? Back in the...
There's one there.
Yeah, it was a 7-digit. We didn't have the...
Do you still remember it?
No.
We didn't need it anymore.
Right. And that was when you were living in Parma as a school teacher, Mom?
Parma Heights.
Parma Heights.
Teaching elementary school?
Yes.
The Little Rascals?
I got
Good
to
kids.
become very familiar with the song 3 o'clock in the morning because she lived way on the west side, southwest side, and I lived far on the east side, so I'd leave her house, and just before I get home, they'd be playing on the radio 3 o'clock in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. So
Just
about an
kept
hour
on
and a
singing
half
at
ride.
3
Even if you
o'clock
left
in
early, it
the
still was a long way away.
Yep. It was good. Good. Picked a good one for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a good marriage. Your mother is easy to live with. She's the most loving, kind, caring person I know. She just cares about everybody, loves everybody, is kind to everybody.
Those are some good attributes.
Keep her.
She's a nudge
Yeah.
once in a while, but
You see so many couples that are arguing, you know, at this stage in their relationship, that that's just the best way that they communicate is to argue with each other.
No,
neither one of us like arguing.
not that
We
part.
don't like arguing.
It seems like Italian families like to argue. That's just-
Oh, I grew up in a family that there was a lot of arguing, but I didn't care for it. I didn't mind a good debate or a good argument with friends, but you know, husband and wife could get bitter, and I didn't care for it.
So do you remember making plans after you got married and what you were going to do as far as buy a house, raise a family?
Oh,
What were your ideas?
We both
right
wanted
away we
kids.
wanted kids.
We didn't know have a set amount, but we wanted kids. And we lived in an apartment for a year till we could,
Where at?
on 21st Street in Cuyahoga Falls. There was a State Road had a restaurant called Marcel's Restaurant.
I remember
Very good
Marcel's.
restaurant, and we were right
Good food.
behind it in that restaurant. It was close. I was working at Green Cross Hospital. I could walk to work. It was only like 3 or 4 blocks away.
Is that near St. Thomas?
No, it's right,
No, it's right
behind
behind-
Acme over,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Right across the street.
1 block.
Is it still around?
Yeah, Falls General Hospital.
Uh-huh.
It's 1 block off State Road.
So you're able to save enough and put a down payment on a house after a year?
Yep. Paid $16,500 for our home over on 26th Street.
Cash or on a mortgage?
No, more. We couldn't afford cash. I
And
think
what
I
was the payment a
making
month?
I was making $250 a week.
And what was the
That
payment a
my
month
salary.
then?
I don't even remember.
$250 a month maybe?
I don't even remember what. No, it wasn't that much.
I remember growing up
Yeah.
in the neighborhood over there.
Yeah. What was nice about that house, there was 2 dead-end streets. There, it sat in a little lot, and then next to us was Jack and Doris White and their sons Tim and Jay.
Mm-hmm.
We lived on that little lot, and on the other side of us was Richardson School's playground. So you had all that to go
It's a
play
good
in.
place to
big
raise
place.
kids.
Didn't have
Mhm.
to worry about cars because they dead-ended it. Our street, so they didn't go through. And across the street was Ralph and Margaret Moody. They sort of took that little nook there.
Mm-hmm. Mom, do you remember any conversations with your parents about Dad and after you decided that you were going to marry him?
No, I don't remember a lot about that because I thought it was going to be really tough because, we're Jewish, they're Catholic. Well, this is not going to work here. It's just not going to happen. And that took me about 5-10 minutes of talking with you and being with you, and that was good.
Did you talk to your Did your sister Aunt B at all? Did you talk to her about the marriage at all?
No, not much.
Mm-hmm. You were independent at the time.
Pretty independent. I always was.
Mm-hmm.
Always will be.
Mom did go down when she was, one Sunday she drove down home to tell them she was going to marry this Catholic guy. And I wanted to go with her, but she said, no, I'll go by myself.
How long had you known each other before she decided to do that?
About a year and a half. So, well, I think it was a year and a half before we got married. It's probably about a year before we decided.
Mm-hmm.
But when I took her home, told my mom and dad I was bringing the girl home, and we got the old house on 3rd Avenue, that big brick house on 3rd Avenue that we used to go to. And Aunt Annie and Uncle Al Gundy in Alberta, and Aunt Bertha, and Aunt Irma and Uncle Pat, they all just happened to drop by to visit Valley that day. And I think
Give Mom the scrutiny?
I think Mom...
Under the eye?
I think my mother
watchful
told
eye?
them Jimmy's bringing a girl home, and everybody wanted to come and see that girl that Jimmy was going to bring home.
All right, well, 48 years is an awful long time. Advice to young couples today? What are some of the attributes that make for a strong bond there? Pick the right one, huh?
You gotta pick a well, you
yeah.
have to realize that it's not always going to be perfect, and I don't know. I think to me, it's
I think
just
first you have to go into the marriage
to
that's
mean
going
it.
to last. I'm not going into the marriage thinking, well, if this doesn't work out, then I'll just get married to someone else. You got to go in with the idea it's going to last. You got to make sure you love one another, and I think one thing I think is important is that there's no such thing as men's work and women's work. I think the woman should know as much about the finances as the man should. I think if there's a woman is working at home and needs help, the man should pitch in, and never mind whether it's ladies' work or not. In the same way, if a man is busy with something, the woman shouldn't mind doing something that she could do if she could do it. So I don't think there's such a thing as men's work and women's work. I just think there's work, and we just both pitch in and do it as best we can. And I think if you work at it and you have a good sense of humor, which is important, you gotta have that sense of humor. It's easy.
Yes.
It's easy. Oh, something. And she looked at me and says, well, I guess I'll just have to try harder. And I thought about that, and I felt so bad that I put her into that position. I said, I'm never going to do that again. I probably have done it again anyway.
Being hard on Ma?
Yeah,
Not
but
much.
no,
Not much.
I care for her too much. I don't want
We do everything together, and like There's no such thing as one person is a worker and the other one isn't. It's just if something needs to be done, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I changed a lot of diapers.
It's out of tune.
Stop.
This is the first note. Oh, I just played the wrong note. I played this.
Your A isn't up there.
Yeah, you're not.
This one is. So what's it?
Where are you going? What time? I don't want to clean.
Careful, huh?
I thought you would. What does that have to do with it? I just jumped somebody.
That's all I have.
That's the other one, right?
Yeah.
I'm not ignorant.
C,
I know,
C,
it's-
and C. Yeah, wait, I want Ready?
Clapping over here. Thank you, Audrey.
Hey!
You like that, Mom? See, Grandma loved that.
That was beautiful, Audrey. I know it takes a lot of concentration, but that was good.
Nice to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks for having me. Your wife looks good. She's singing.
Yeah, she loves this.
Yeah.
She always liked music.
She likes music.
That's all.
Oh, she must have been singing. She has a
She
nice
sang
voice.
in the choruses in high school. Even in the shower, she sings.
She sings,
In the
yeah.
kitchen, she would sing. Yeah, so she's still.
we know that.
She's got a nice
That's
voice.
when you
Binder.
get tours through the music.
And it's sort of, you
No
know,
club lovers. That was the 1 minute, half 30 second.
The 30-second etude. You want to play some hits on piano, Ian?
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
You're gonna be stomach. Don't come on.
More songs coming in. Cycles.
yeah.
You gonna take
Then
that
she'll
out
be
now?
angry and then she'll be
Set it by the door?
quiet and then she'll be sad and surprised.
Oh, really?
And then she'll be.
You wanna just
I
set it out of the
remember
way
it
though?
comes from behind.
Yeah, probably that's what some of the things she remembers.
Easy, Mom.
So then we put on Phantom of the Opera. Started singing.
was nice. What's that old carnival tune?
That's around the world in 80 days.
Arlene, feel free to come in with your drums anytime.
Oh,
With your
it's
drums.
all right. No, I'm just enjoying myself.